gather for a celebration where words dance and voices soar. Today, we celebrate the art of elocution, an age-old tradition that honors the power of eloquence, expression, and persuasion. Elocution is the melody of speech, the symphony of thought and emotion expressed through the spoken word. The participants have embarked on a journey of preparation, pouring their hearts and souls into every syllable, every pause, and every inflection. Now they stand before us, ready to illuminate the stage with their brilliance. Each speaker brings forth a tapestry of ideas, dreams, and inspirations, spun with care and delivered with passion. Their voices are not just heard, but felt, resonating within us and awakening our own reflections. I encourage you all to listen attentively, support one another, and embrace the richness of language which will unfold before us. It is a pleasure to introduce to you our esteemed panel of judges, renowned for their eloquence and expertise in English. We have among us Mrs. Sakshi Bhashal, an outstanding English teacher from Loyola High School. Her insightful perspective and expertise promise to enrich today's event. We are deeply honored to have amongst us Mrs. Rosalind Anthony, an experienced teacher from St. Michael's High School. Her profound excellence and proficiency in English makes her the cornerstone to today's proceedings. We are elated to have with us the PTA Secretary, Anu Singh. Her critique and wisdom will elevate the event to extraordinary heights. To welcome you, dear judges, we would now like to present each one of you a sampling. Hearty welcome.
The elocution contest has been divided into 3 categories. The time allotted to each category varies. We begin with the junior category, comprising students of classes 6 and 7. The time allotted to them is 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. A warning bell will be rung after 1 minute, and the final bell will be rung after 1.5 minutes. Next, we have the pre-senior category, comprising students of classes 8 and 9. The time allotted to them is 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. A warning bell will be rung after 1.5 minutes, and the final bell will be rung after 2 minutes. Lastly, we have the senior category, comprising students of classes 10, 11, and 12. The time allotted to them is 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes. A warning bell will be rung after 2 minutes, and the final bell will be rung after 2.5 minutes.
Being happy does not mean everything is perfect. It means we have decided to look beyond imperfections. I'm that perfectly imperfect woman who, in pursuit of her dreams and aspirations, realized if your life feels hard and you're giving up on that because you think your life is unfair, think again. Because thinking that way, you are being unjust to yourself. I realized that sometimes our problems are not too big. We fail to handle them. I believe in power of words. They can make you, break you. They can heal or damage your soul forever. Call it adversity, weakness, disability. But I call it You fall, you get up. This goes on until you switch the word failure with lessons. So let's accept that we all are perfectly imperfect, and that is completely fine. You know what makes you perfect? It is when you perform good deeds, when you understand others' pain. This is why I say, I am in pain, and that is a blessing in disguise. Thank you.
Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future, and losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I'm here to speak for generations to come. I'm here to speak on behalf of starving children and dying animals across the planet. I fear going out in the sun now because of the ozone holes. I fear breathing the air because of the unknown chemicals in it. I used to go fishing with my dad until we found a fish full of cancers, and now we hear of plants and animals going extinct every day. I have always dreamt of seeing wild animals, birds and butterflies. But I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry about these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act like we have all the time and all the solutions. I am only a child, but I don't have solutions, and I want you to realize, neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone. You don't know how to bring back an extinct animal or a forest that once grew. So, if you can't fix it, stop. Stop breaking it. In our lives, I could be the one starving in Somalia, or a victim of a war, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know if all the money spent in wars was spent on finding environmental answers and ending poverty, what a wonderful place Earth would be. You teach us values like non-violence, compassion and sharing. So I request you to practice what you preach and to create a better world for us. Thank you.
Of song and sound, the bugle call to battle. How shall I kindle the flame? What shall weaken you men from slavery? Narrow-minded people say that the education of women is to be condemned because it makes them bold. But people, have you forgotten the heroic stories and scriptures of your own motherland? It was the privilege of India to possess women who were bolder and braver than anyone else. Read Mahabharata and Ramayana and those wilderness of jungle and war. Yes, even today, the need is that we, the women of India, should be bold like Ahilyabai and demand a new life for Mother India, a life full of mightiness, courage, strength and power. What reply have you got to give to the questioning humanity? You who possess the treasured heritage of India's past learning and noble traditions. Oh, you cannot obtain true liberty until you are charged with the spirit of liberty, a spirit that knows no prejudices, a spirit that spurns all the false and foolish trammels. Break open the cage of bigotry and fly with a sacred fire in your heart. Yes, that sacred fire will undo all the fetters that bind you. Break open that cage of bigotry and fly. The woman will be the support in desolation. She will be the light in the darkness. The woman whom you try to keep in subjugation will be the cause of your salvation.
is the day of every boy, every girl, and every woman who are raising voice for their lives. There are hundreds of human activists and social workers who are not just fighting for their rights, but also struggling to achieve the goals of peace, education, and equality. The thousands of people that have been killed, millions of people that have been injured by these terrorists. I am just one of them. So here I start, one against many. I speak, but not for myself, but so those whose voice can be heard, those who have fought for their rights to live in peace, their rights to be educated, their rights to equality of opportunities. On 9th October 2012, I was shot. On the left side of my forehead, my friends were shot too. They thought that bullets would silence us, but they failed. They thought that they would change my ambitions, my dreams, but nothing in my life changed except this. Weakness, helplessness, fear died. Strength, power, and courage was born. Dear brothers and sisters, we must not forget that there are millions of people out there who are suffering from poverty, ignorance, and injustice, terrorism, poverty, and illiteracy. Let us pick up our pens and books, because one teacher, one student, and one pen can change this entire system. Because education is the only solution. Education comes first. Thank you.
Sky, that is where tears of compassion upon my people for centuries untold, and which to us appears changeless and eternal, may change. Today is fair, tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. My words are like the stars that never change. Whatever Seattle says, the great chief at Washington can rely upon with as much certainty as he can upon the return of sun or the seasons. The white chief says that the big chief at Washington sends his greetings of friendship and goodwill. This is kind of him, for we know he has little need of our friendship in return. His people are many. They are like the grass that covers vast prairies. My people are few. They resemble the scattering trees of a storm-swept plain. The great, and I presume, good white chief sends his word that he wishes to buy our land, but is willing to allow us enough to live comfortably. This indeed appears just even generous. For the red man no longer has rights that he need respect, and the offer may be wise. Also, as we are no longer in need of an extensive country, there was a time when our people covered the land as the waves of a wind-rockered sea cover its shell-paved floor with the greatness of strides that are now but a mournful memory. I will not dwell on, nor mourn over our untimely decay, nor reproach my pale-faced brothers with hastening it, as we too may have been somewhat to blame. Thank you.
7 years ago, I stood on this platform, hoping that the voice of a teenage girl who took a bullet in standing up for her education would be heard. On that day, leaders, corporations, civil society, every child in school by 2030. Yet halfway to that target date, we are facing an education emergency. Let's remind you once again what's happening. In Afghanistan, Taliban have banned girls like Sumaya from learning. In Uganda and Pakistan, droughts and floods are ravaging homes, like the ones where Vanessa and I grew up. Conflict and violence in Ethiopia, Ukraine and other countries are keeping girls like Elizaveta out of the classroom. You have heard enough about how
education transforms lives, strengthens economies, and contributes to a more peaceful world. And if you're still in doubt about the impact of education, go ask a girl. She will tell you what education means to her. Most of you know what exactly needs to be done. You must not make small, stingy and short-term pledges, but commit to uphold the right to complete education. I hope in another 7 years, we will speak to you again, but instead of urging you to help us, we'll be cheering and celebrating the progress you have made. When you leave this room today, please ask yourselves, how many more generations are you willing to sacrifice? How long will you make girls wait for what you promised? How many more times do we have to stand on this stage in order to be heard? Thank you.
Mr. President, India is exercising its right of reply in response to references to India during the high-level segment. With regard to the extensive references to India made by Pakistan, we know that it is deeply unfortunate for the Council's platform to have once again been misused to make patently false allegations against India. We are constrained to respond, but as we don't wish to similarly waste the Council's time, we will make only 3 points. 1. The entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India, and the constitutional measures taken by the Government of India to ensure socio-economic development and good governance in the Union territories are matters internal to India. Pakistan has no locus standi to pronounce on matters that are internal to India. 2. A country that has institutionalized the systemic persecution of its own minorities, commenting on India, which is demonstrably making great strides in achieving economic progress and social justice, is not merely ironical, but perverse. A glaring example was large-scale brutality perpetrated against minority Christian community in Jaranwala city, Pakistan, August 2023, when 19 churches were gutted and 89 Christian houses burnt down. 3. A country that hosts and even celebrates the UNSC-sanctioned terrorists, commenting on India, whose pluralistic ethos and democratic credentials are exemplars for the world, is a contrast for everyone to see. Mr. President, I will conclude by only emphasizing that we cannot pay any further attention to a country that speaks while being soaked in red, the red of the bloodshed from the terrorism it sponsors around the world, and the red of the shame its own people feel for their government having failed to serve their actual interests. Thank you.
Madam President and gentlemen, ladies of the House, standing here with 3 minutes in my hands in this rather magnificent and venerable institution, I was going to assure you that I belong to the Henry VIII School of Public Speaking, that as Henry VIII said to his wives, I shall not keep you long. I'm well aware about the expectations placed upon me and, of course, the arguments advanced by the opposition today. According to Sir Richard Ottaway, the British colonialism did not actually worsen the economic situation of the colonies. Well, I would like to offer the Indian example as a counterpoint. India's share of the world's economy, when Britain arrived on its shores, was 23%. By the time it left, it was down to below 4%. Why? How did this happen? It is simply because India had been governed for the benefit of Britain. Britain's rise for 200 years was financed by its depredations in India. By the end of the 19th century, the fact is that India was already Britain's biggest cash cow. We literally paid for our own oppression. Today, we gather here to acknowledge a historical injustice. The English East East India Company granted a royal charter by Queen Elizabeth I, which was responsible for millions of deaths through disease, war, and famine. Our textiles and railways were destroyed to promote British goods. We were forced to adopt English, abandoning our own languages and scripts. It is rightly said, the sun never sets on the British Empire, because even God couldn't trust the Englishmen in the dark. Britain's rise to India is not just economically, but also morally as well as historically. It's time for Britain to acknowledge this debt and pay reparations, not as an act of charity, but as an act of justice. And as Rabindranath Tagore rightly quoted, the West has taken our wealth, but not our soul. It's time for Britain to pay our wealth, our dignity, and our pride. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Gentlemen, I'm honored to tell you something about how to become a champion. I'm more honored to take you onto the field of life's battle. There is another honor. I want you to realize an answer to a simple question. Who am I? I am a champion. That's right, and I need you to remember this. All throughout my life, I will conquer what has not been conquered by many. Defeat will not be in my creed. I will believe what others have doubted. And I will always acknowledge the fact that life will not always give me all the things that I need to win, but I will never ever surrender. Who am I? I am a champion. I will gladly go out into the field of life, and when I get there, I will arrive violently, and I will rip apart and throw away every piece of weakness from my heart, because weaknesses cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion. I will realize the fact that defeat, failure, weaknesses, those are not my words. I don't understand those definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes. But I do understand this. I understand victory, and I understand never surrendering. Who am I? I am a champion. I will always believe the fact that history will remember me, and I will not have to worry about being kind, because I will write my own praises. I will define my own self, and I will fight this battle and show the world who am I? I am a champion. I will not go home, not without giving everything I got. Because who am I? I am a champion. Who am I? I am a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that no one can tell me who or what I can and cannot be. History will always remember me. No one can deny me, no one can define me, and no one will tell me who or what I can and cannot be. Who am I? I am a champion. Who am I? I am a champion. And who am I? I am a champion.
My dear Mariam, I pray that this letter finds you in good health. As you know, I came to Kabul a month ago, but you would not see me. I was disappointed, but could not blame you. In your place, I might have done the same. After all, I lost the privilege to your good graces a long time ago, and for that, I have only myself to blame. Where do I begin with? Your father has known so much sorrow since we last spoke, Mariam. I do not know if you have children of your own, but if you do, I pray that God looks after them and spare you the grief that I have known. I still dream of them, my dead children. I still dream of them. I have dreams of you too, Mariam. I miss the sound of your voice, your laughter. I miss reading to you and all those times we went fishing together. Do you remember the times we went fishing together? You were a good daughter to me, Mariam. And I cannot think of it without feeling shame and regret. Regret? when it comes to you, I have oceans of it. I regret that I did not open the door and take you in. I regret that I did not make you a daughter to me. I regret that I let you live in that place for all those years, and for what? Fear of losing face? Of staining my so-called good name? How little these things matter to me now, after all the terrible things I have seen in this cursed war. Now all I can do is ask for your forgiveness, so forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. I am not the wealthy man you once knew. The communists confiscated so much of my land. I hope you do not think I'm trying to buy your forgiveness, no. I was not a dutiful father to you in life. Perhaps in death I shall be. Perhaps in death I shall be. Thank you.
Is Nobel Prize acceptance speech by Elocution.
In the place that I come from, it was forbidden to mourn. To cry was to give in to sorrow, to risk losing oneself. But how could I not cry? How could I forget the shoes my mother gave me, the clothes my father bought with love, the bread I shared with my sister? As a Jewish, I did not live in an image. I lived in a reality where my family and my community were lost to me forever. I remember it happened yesterday or eternities ago. A young Jewish boy discovered the kingdom of night. His bewilderment, his anguish, it all happened so fast. The ghetto, the deportation, the sealed cattle car, the fiery altar upon which the history of my people were meant to be sacrificed. I remember he asked his father, "Can this be true? Who would allow such crimes to be committed? How could the world remain silent?" And now the boy turns to be me. "Tell me," he says, "what have you done with my years?" And I tell him that I have tried to keep memory alive, because if we forget, we are guilty. We could not prevent their deaths the first time, but if we forget them, they will be killed a second time, and this time it will be our responsibility. And then I explained to him that the world did know and remained silent. And that is why I swore never to be silent and to always take sides, because neutrality helps the oppressor and never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor and never the tormented. As long as one dissident is in prison and one child sleeps hungry, our freedom will never be true. And all these victims need to know is that they are not alone, that we are not forgetting them, that when their voices are stifled, we shall lend them ours, that while their freedom depends on us, the quality of our freedom depends on theirs. This is what I say to the young Jewish boy, wondering, what have I done with his years? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am tremendously honored to be UN Women's Advocate for political participation and leadership. I am proud to be a woman and a feminist. Women, they have minds and they have souls, as well as just hearts. And they have got talents and they have got ambition, as well as just beauty. We need to change this perspective. Women make up more than half of Earth's population and potential. So it is neither just nor practical for their voices, for our voices, to go unheard at the highest levels of decision making. The way that we change that, in my opinion, is to mobilize girls and women to see their value as leaders. In doing this, we remind women that their involvement matters, that they need to be active in their communities, in their local governments, as well as in the highest parliamentary position. It is just imperative. Women need a seat at the table. They need an invitation
permission to be seated there. And in some cases where this is not available, well then you know what? They need to create their own table. It is said that girls with dreams become women with vision. May we empower each other to carry out such a vision, because it isn't enough to simply talk about equality. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to simply believe in it. One must work at it. So let us work at it together, starting now. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to challenge each and every one of you with a simple yet a profound question. Why not you? Let's think about it for a moment. When we look at successful people, those who have achieved their dreams and are living fulfilling lives, what separates them from the rest of us? Is it luck? Is it circumstance? No, it's their belief in themselves and their willingness to take action. So why not you? You got the brain, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can make your dreams come true, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you? Too often we limit ourselves by thinking that success is reserved for others. Those who are smarter, wealthier, or more talented. But I am here to tell you that success doesn't discriminate. What truly matters is your mindset and determination to pursue your dreams relentlessly. So why not you? Why not now? What is stopping you from becoming the person you were meant to be and achieving everything you ever dreamed of? Is it fear of failure, or is it uncertainty about the future? Remember, every successful person started somewhere. They faced challenges, setbacks, but they never let those obstacles define them. Success is not a destination, my friends. It is a journey that requires courage, resilience, and unwavering determination. Embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and most importantly, never lose sight of your dreams. The world is full of opportunities waiting for someone to seize them. Will you be the one to step up and make your mark? Thank you.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I have come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you that Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously had Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral? He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When did the poor have cried? Caesar had wept. Ambition is made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lucretical, I thrice presented him with a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, Brutus is an honorable man. I speak not to disapprove
speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Thou art fledged with brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. But my heart is in that coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me. Thank you.
I'm going to die. If not sooner, then later, whether or not I had ever spoken myself. My silences had not protected me. Your silence will not protect you. But for every real word spoken, for every attempt I had ever made to speak those truths for which I am still seeking, I had made contact with other women, while we examined the words to fit a world in which we all believed, bridging our differences. And it was the concern and caring of all those women which gave me strength and enabled me to scrutinize the essentials of my living. The women who sustained me through that period were black and white, old and young, and we all shared a war against the tyrannies of silence. They all gave me a strength and concern without which I could not have survived intact. Within those weeks of acute fear came the knowledge within the war we are all waging with the forces of death, subtle and otherwise, conscious or not. I am not only a casualty, I am also a warrior. What are the words you do not yet have? What do you need to say? What are the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own until you will sicken and die of them, still in silence? Perhaps, for some of you here today, I am the face of one of your fears. Because I am a woman, because I am black, because I am myself a black woman, warrior, poet doing my work. Come to ask you, are you doing yours? Thank you.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, will I be pretty? Will I be pretty? And what comes next? Oh right, will I be rich? Which is almost pretty depending on where you shop. And the pretty question infects from conception, passing blood and breath through cells. The word hangs from a mother's heart in a shrill, fluorescent floodlight of worry. Will I be wanted, worthy, pretty? But puberty left me this fun house mirror dryad, teeth set at science fiction, angles, crooked nose, face donkey long and pox marked, where the hormones went finger painting. My poor mother. How could this happen? You sucked your thumb, that's why your teeth look like that? You were hit in the face you were hit in the face with a frisbee when you were just 6. Otherwise, your nose would have been just fine. But don't worry, we'll get it fixed, she would say, grasping my face and twisting it this way, that way, as if it were a cabbage she might buy. But this is not about her, not her fault. She too was raised to believe that the greatest asset she could bestow upon her awkward little girl was a marketable facade. By 16, I was pickled with ointments, medications, peroxides, teeth coiled into steel prongs, laying in a hospital bed, face packed with gauze, cushioning the brand new nose the surgeon had just carved. Every convulsive gut of my body screaming at me from the inside out. What did you let them do to you? And now, I have not seen my own face in 10 years. I have not seen my own face in 10 years. But this is not about me. This is about women who will roll 30 stores in 6 malls to find the right cocktail dress, but haven't a clue where to find fulfillment or
their joy. This is about my own someday daughter. When you approach me, begging, Mom, will I be pretty? Will I be pretty? I will wipe that question off your face like cheap lipstick and answer no. The word pretty is unworthy of everything you will ever be. You will be pretty intelligent, pretty creative, pretty amazing. But you will never be merely pretty. Thank you.
Storyteller, and I would like to tell you a few personal stories about what I like to call the danger of a single story. I started reading at the age of 2, so I was an early reader. And what I read were British and American children's books. When I started writing, I wrote exactly the kinds of stories that I was reading. All the characters were white and blue-eyed. They played in snow. But things changed when I discovered African books. I went through my mental shift of perception of literature. I realized that people like me, girls with the skin color of chocolate, whose kinky hair could not form a ponytail, could also exist in literature. I started to write about things that I recognized. And then there was a tradition that stated that the sub-Saharan Africa was a place of differences, of conflicts, and of people, in the words of Rudyard Kipling, who are half devil and half child. So this is how you create a single story. Show people as one thing and only one thing over and over again, and this is what they become. Start the story with the arrows of Native American, and all these stories make me who I am. But to insist on only these negatives is to flatten my experience and to make one story the only story. I would like to end this with the thought that when we reject a single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise. Thank you.
Henry.
Gentlemen, there is no longer any ground for hope. If we wish to be free, if we wish to preserve those inestimable privileges which belong to us as free men, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. They tell us, sir, that we are so weak. We are so weak sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Thank you.
Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of the kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women of the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this they're talking about? That man over there, he says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or give me any best. Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered over bonds and no man could ever hit me. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most of them sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? They have this thing in their heads. What's it called? Intellect. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint, and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? That man in black over there, he says women can't have as much rights as men because Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? I ask, where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. The first woman God ever created was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone. These women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. And now they are asking to do it. And the men better let them. Life to you for hearing to me. And now, old sojourner, ain't got nothing more to say. Thank you.
My message to the world is, we'll be watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope? How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I am one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystem are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solution needed are still nowhere in sight. You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you be the evil. And that I refuse to believe. The popular idea of cutting our emission in half gives us only a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees Celsius. 50% may be acceptable to you, but not to us, we who have to live with the consequences. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generation is upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say, we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now is where we draw The world is waking up and the change is coming, whether you like it or not. Thank you.
I would now like to invite one of our judges, Ms. Sakshi Bhashin, to enlighten us with the words of wisdom.
A very blissful morning to one and all present here. Before I start speaking, I would like to ask you people, what is the meaning of elocution? What do you understand by this term? Anyone? What is elocution? Remember, I won't be giving you marks on this, so you have the complete freedom to stand up and speak what you feel like. No one? Okay, very good, to express yourself. Then? It is a poem or a piece through which we express our words in peace. Okay, very good. A poem, or a piece of writing through which you express yourself. Now remember, when you are here on the stage, when you are speaking anything, be it a poetry or a piece of writing, your first intention should be that the audience sitting there is able to understand what you are speaking. They are able to understand your feelings, your emotions there. I'll just give you an example. Consider this question. What are you doing? A very simple question. You know the meaning of it, all of you? Yes. Now see, I'll tell this question in different ways. If I ask you, what are you doing? It is simply that I am curious to know what you are doing at this moment. If I ask you, what are you doing? What do you mean by this? Am I simply asking you? Then I am scolding you. If I say, what are you doing? Now what am I doing here? Which means you are doing something funny and I am just telling you, right? This is what an elocution is. It is not simply reciting a poem or a piece of work. It is first understanding the emotion of a person and second expressing it very well. And all the participants who are here right from class 6 till class 12, you people have done justice to this point. You clearly expressed the emotions, feelings, be it of the poet or of the writer. And for this you deserve a huge round of applause. Okay. And why were they able to speak well? Anyone? Definitely their hard work and the hard work of the teachers. Any other point do you think? Confidence? Actually understood. Yes? Okay. Anything else? Experience. Very good. And the audience has no hand in it? Cooperation of the audience. Imagine. Yes, Peter, you have something to speak? Very good. Imagine a speaker is here and the audience keeps on talking. What will happen? Will the speaker be able to speak well? No. Imagine I am standing here and you people start howling, shouting, clapping and talking. As a teacher, do you think I'll be able to speak? No. What will happen to me? I'll lose my confidence and I'll also forget what I have to speak. So what is most important is the speakers here and the patience of the audience every time. Your poems, the way you spoke literally gave me goosebumps. And remember, today you get a prize or you do not get a prize. But you all are winners. Can you tell me why again? Since the audience was quiet for quite a long time, this is your chance to speak. Why do you think all are winners? Because they participated in it. Do you think it Very good. If you don't remember, you are carrying back a piece of advice, you are learning something. Okay? And last but not the least, remember one thing. When you are coming on the stage, leave your fears backstage and come. Nobody here, no audience is aware of your content. Was the audience aware of the content? Did you people have the poem? Did you people have their speeches? So supposingly if you forget something, move on with a smile on your face and confidence. Okay? And consider this stage is yours and this mic is your best friend. Once you remember this, you will be able to conquer anything here. Clear everyone? Okay, thank you. And who are you people? You are? Repeat, who are you? Champions. Do champions lose? No. Then, do champions win? Yes. Will you win? Yes. Are you winners? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Miss. You have truly inspired us with your valuable insights. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Good morning, respected principal, Sister Mary Neha, our esteemed judges, respected parents, our star performers of the day, my dear students and the wonderful teachers. Today we have witnessed the power of words and the art of eloquence. Today we honor those who have showcased exceptional skill in the art of elocution, captivating us with their voice, expression, and command over language. Elocution is not just about speaking well. It is about conveying emotions, telling stories, and making a connection with the audience. Our participants have done just that, demonstrating not only their speaking abilities, but also their passion and dedication. Before we proceed with the distribution of awards, let us take a moment to acknowledge the hard work and effort of all our participants. Each one of them has brought something unique to the table, making this event truly memorable. Let us give our participants a huge round of applause. Dear participants, remember, it is not about winning or losing. It is about not giving up. Sometimes we put so much stress on losing or winning that we fail to recognize that lesson is everything. And the lesson is what matters. It is how you will win after a loss. It is how you will keep winning after you have won before. Remember, we must fail in order to succeed because failures are a stepping stone to success. Without further ado, let us begin the award ceremony and recognize the outstanding achievements comprising 6 and 7. May I now invite Mrs. Anu Singh to hand over the awards to the winners of junior category. In the third position, we have Ladhavi Raj of 7D.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving the honors. It gives me immense pride to see a tie for the first position. May I now invite Ms. Sakshi Bhashin to award the first prize winners. And the first prize winners are Patul of 6B and Ashi Banka of 7B. Congratulations, dear students. Let us give them a huge round of applause. Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Mrs. Rosalind Anthony to award the winners of pre-senior category. The pre-senior category comprising classes 8 and 9. The winners are, in the third position we have Naina Teresa Sojal of 9C. In the second place, we have Pankuri Singh of 9B. And the winner of pre-senior category is Ankita of 9B. Happy congratulations, dear winners. Thank you, ma'am, for doing the honors. May I now invite our respected principal, Sister Mary Neha, to award the winners of the senior category. The third position is bagged by Mani Chauhan of 12th Sciences. In the second place, we have Tejshri Bhagat of Chennai. And the winner of the senior category is none other than the champion, Angel 11 Science B. And indeed, children, you are all the champions. Happy congratulations. Thank you, sister, for doing the honors. Respected principal, Sister Mary Neha, to address the gathering. Dear esteemed guests, respected sisters, teachers, my loving students, and dear contestants. I am filled with joy and admiration for you, dear students, after witnessing the incredible talent displayed during the elocution contest. Each of you who participated has shown exceptional courage, eloquence, and dedication in your presentation. You had variety in your speech. You have taken up many burning issues of the time. Much learning has taken place. We as audience listening to you. I was very happy to see the self-composed pieces, and I am thrilled to see that I have many budding writers here in this hall. Dear students, it was very meaningful. Your performances were truly inspiring. Standing before an audience to deliver your speech takes tremendous bravery, and you all did so with remarkable confidence and grace. Every one of you demonstrated the power of your voice and the depth of your preparation. Whether or not you took home an award, a trophy, your participation and your effort are great achievements. Congratulations to the winners and the participants for your outstanding efforts and achievements. Let us give them a big, loud round of applause for your hard work. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our dedicated teachers, especially the English faculty of high school and +2 section. Your guidance, dear teachers, your support and your hard work in preparing the students for this event were very evident in their outstanding performances. Thank you for your commitment to nurturing their talents and helping these students to do their very best. My very special thanks to our esteemed judges, Mrs. Sakshi Bashi, Ms. Anu Singh, Ms. Roselyn Anthony. Your task of evaluating was certainly not easy. We appreciate very much your time, your expertise, and your fair judgment. We all know your role was very crucial in making this event a success, and we are grateful for your contributions and the precious time you spent with us. Thank you also for the constructive feedback and the encouragement that you gave to our students. It has greatly enhanced the quality and the experience of this event. We remain grateful to the Student Council, the Council moderators, the members of the office staff, the technical staff, the students who have entertained us with their talents and performances, and all those who have helped in different ways to make this event a smooth functioning one. I express my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you. Thank you, my dear audience, dear parents and the students, for your very presence with us, your timely encouragement, and the patience with which you listened to each contestant. It was truly amazing, and we are very grateful to you. Your presence has truly made a difference to each one of us. We thank the God Almighty with a great admiration and gratitude for blessing each one of us, dear students and teachers, with incredible skills, abilities and talents. Thank you so much. You are all champions. You are winners. You have made this event a great one. We are all proud of you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sister, for your words of wisdom and inspiration. As a token of our love
and appreciation, we would like to present our judges with a memento each. For this, we would like to invite our respected principal, Sister Mary Neha, to do the honors. Invite the judges on the stage. Thank you, sister. Elocution contests have always been a source of great excitement and inspiration for everyone. As this wonderful contest draws to a close, I would first and foremost like to thank the Almighty for allowing us to gather here and witness the exceptional talents of our school. Our deepest appreciation goes to our esteemed guests for gracing us with their presence. A special thank you to our respected principal, Sister Mary Neha, for her unwavering support and for conducting such enriching events at school. Our heartfelt thanks to all the other sisters of Notre Dame for their prayers, which keep us protected and safe. We are immensely grateful to all the teachers for their guidance and support at each and every step of the way. We would also like to acknowledge the office staff who are the backbone of each event. Thank you for paving the way for the smooth execution of this event. Special thanks to all the parents for their enthusiastic presence. Hearty congratulations to all the winners and participants for their incredible performances. Your hard work and dedication have shone brightly today. Thanks are also due to the audience for being so enthusiastic and encouraging. Your support has been invaluable in making this event a success. Thank you, one and all.